Have you been toying with the idea of getting a battery electric vehicle? Well, in 2025, it's a better time than ever to consider an EV. We have so many great choices on the pre-owned market and on the new market. And one choice that you can find on the pre-owned and the new market is the Mustang Mach-E. It's a brand new product for Ford with a very old name. And some people might think, oh man, how could you call a crossover electric SUV a Mustang? You have 60 years of tradition with the Mustang name being a front-engined rear-wheel drive sports car. In execution, the Mach-E is a really cool product. We can see design influences all over from Mustangs throughout the decades. And for a crossover SUV, it's very pretty. Crossover SUVs are hard to make look good. It's like an egg or jelly bean on wheels. Not so much with the Mach-E. The Tesla Model Y, which is the best-selling vehicle in the whole entire world, let alone EV, is a great vehicle as well, but it's a little bit blander, kind of like a widget shape or a wedge shape, like a wedge shape, where the Mustang Mach-E definitely is a little bit more prettier. I would say a lot more prettier. I think it's one of the prettiest crossover SUVs out there, aside from gas or EV. You can see the vertical tail lamps on the back, which pays homage to some of the Mustangs we saw from the 60s. And you won't see any Ford badges on it. That's all Mustang branding. Perhaps Ford might actually spin off the Mustang brand into its own product line, not just one car. This is a beautiful 2024 example in great shape inside and out, low miles. We can see here it says E4X. So this means this has all-wheel drive. So it has dual electric motors. It has a motor in the front and a motor in the back, giving it all-wheel drive. But it's also like having two engines. And with diesel-like torque from electric motors, this thing has a neck-snapping acceleration, about 350 horsepower and over 400 pound-feet of torque. This thing is an absolute hoot to drive. And with the weight of the battery so low in the vehicle, it has a very low center of gravity, so it has excellent handling. So obviously it's not gonna handle and perform like a Mustang GT, but for a crossover SUV, this thing is very quick. And as far as acceleration goes, you'd be keeping up with a lot of Mustangs with just how quick this thing is. Since there's no engine in the front, it looks like they could have done a better job cleaning it. The rest of the car is cleaned perfectly, but they must have forgot the frunk. But anyways, we will continue. No engine here, so you have extra cargo space in the form of a frunk. This is also a safety feature because you have this huge crumple zone with no engine here that's 60% larger than the crumple zone in a gas car to absorb crash energy in a frontal collision. We can see some drain holes right here. Well, that's because you can use this as a cooler. You can put ice in here, and as the ice melts, it will drain through those drain holes onto the ground. And look, they even have drink holders too. Some people have tailgate parties. You could have a frunk party with your Mach-E. Nice color combination. This thing looks spectacular in white. We can see that we're pretty devoid of door handles here. Ford did its best to get rid of these door handles because they kind of are unsightly and messes with the aesthetics of the vehicle. So in the front doors, you just hit that button, it pops open a little bit, and you have this little grab handle. With the rear doors, it's a little bit different. You just hit it, and it pops open enough, and then you stick your fingers in there and open it that way. Have a power lift gate, and this thing is very practical, lots of space. It is a compact crossover, but because it's being an EV, it doesn't have gas tanks and drive shafts and exhaust systems. It frees up a lot of interior space. So you have more interior space than a comparable gas-powered crossover SUV of similar size. You can fold down those rear seats for more cargo space. A little extra storage under here, and look at this. This is an adapter for a Tesla supercharger. Ford was actually one of the first manufacturers to make a deal with Tesla for access to their amazing supercharging network. Tesla has been playing the long game of EVs. They sold their first EV, I think, all the way back in 2008 with the Tesla Roadster. And then in 2012, when they started rolling out the Model S, they started building that supercharging network. So they have a head start. They have thousands and thousands of superchargers throughout the United States. And it is fantastic that Ford has partnered with Tesla to allow Ford EV owners for access to those superchargers, because it makes it so much easier, so much more realistic to road trip and drive long distances. This is a premium trim. The select trim is the entry-level trim for the Mustang Mach-E, the Premium. As you can guess by the name, it's a little bit more premium. We have this lovely perforated synthetic leather. We have this beautiful perforated synthetic leather interior with nice contrast stitching. That synthetic leather and contrast stitching continues on the doors, on the dashboard. Nice contrasting colors and materials. Really cool speaker grille for the B&O sound system. Ford partnered with Bang & Olufsen, which makes premium high-end audio systems you'd usually find like in BMWs and Mercedes, to offer fantastic sound systems and Ford products with the B&O brand. We have a copy of the original build sheet on this one. This thing was close to $53,000 when it was brand new. And that's the other thing. This Mach-E might be the similar size of like the Bronco Sport or the Ford Escape, but this is a different caliber of vehicle. With the luxury and refinement that the Mach-E offers, you would compare this to like a premium luxury vehicle like a BMW or Mercedes. As far as performance, refinement, fit and finish, and features go, it is definitely a step above most other Ford products like the Mach-E, like the Escape or the Bronco Sport, which are all great vehicles, but this one is definitely more high-end, more premium in many ways. This one has the larger battery pack. That was $3,000 to upgrade to that larger battery pack. That extends your range to about 300 miles when fully charged. The standard battery pack is about 260 miles. We have this huge vertical screen for the infotainment system. Fantastic parking cameras. We have an overhead camera for a nice composite view around you. We have heated heated seats, heated steering wheel. I like how they have this little rotary dial to keep somewhat in-lug feel on certain things. And this can function to adjust fan speed, audio system, volume, things like that. Really good idea on Ford's part. You have a navigation system. You can use this app. You can use the app to find charging as well. If we go over here to the vehicle, we have a lot of different settings that we can personalize the vehicle. We have different drive settings which will change the behavior of the vehicle. We have Whisper, which is kind of like the quiet mode, and the easy desert driving mode. Seamless drive, calm and quiet, smoother acceleration steering, the best mode for slippery conditions. Then we have Engage, which is balanced drive, everyday fun. And appropriately named for a Mustang product, we have Unbridled, which is your performance mode. Exhilarating drive, machine, and road align as one. More responsive acceleration and steering. You can set up the one-pedal driving, so basically that makes the regenerative braking more aggressive. Some people aren't crazy about the regenerative braking because they're not used to the way it feels. We're all conditioned to feel the way a gas car drives. But the regenerative braking and the one-pedal driving is really nice because being able to modulate the power and slow the vehicle down with just one pedal is fantastic. And the regenerative braking is the secret, one of the secrets that makes EVs so efficient, because normally all that kinetic energy you lose through heat through braking, you can recapture that with regenerative braking, turning the electric motors into generators, capturing that kinetic energy and putting it back in the batteries. The great dividend of the regenerative braking is that your actual brakes, since they're not used nearly as much, last a lot longer, usually well past 100,000 miles, and brakes can be pretty expensive. Nice, premium, comfortable interior, beautiful on the inside, beautiful on the outside. And being a compact and being an EV, like I mentioned, this has a lot of interior space for its size. I'm 6'2". I had that front seat adjusted for my height. I have plenty of space back here, plenty of headroom, plenty of legroom, very, very comfortable place to be. Well, there's no time better than now to get an EV. There are so many great new ones and pre-owned ones. And there is also a lot of EV disinformation out there. I think a lot of people feel threatened by them. A lot of people are kind of programmed to, reject the thought of an EV. For whatever reason, they think that gas cars are superior. Obviously gas cars have their places. EVs don't always work for everybody. But I think for a lot of people, especially as a commuter vehicle, EVs are a fantastic choice. The low ownership costs, low maintenance costs are a big factor. Not having to go to a gas station. You're going from thousands of moving parts to dozens of moving parts. EVs are a lot simpler in many ways, so not as many trips to the dealership for service. Generally, not as many things to break with dozens of moving parts instead of thousands of moving parts. A battery and electric motor is very efficient and very simple. It's like almost like owning an appliance. And even if you get your electricity from where you charge from dirty energy, an EV is going to use that energy much more efficiently. That was always an argument with some EV, anti-EV people. It's like, well, you can charge it, but you're getting that energy to charge it from coal or other dirty power sources, which might be true, but this Mach-E has a fully charged range of about 300 miles. But the battery in this Mach-E holds about the equivalent energy of about 2 to 3 gallons of gas. There's not too many gas cars that can go 200 or 300 miles on 3 gallons of gas. The way EVs are, they are so efficient, they can use that equivalent energy of 2 to 3 gallons of gas and go 200 to 300 miles. So that just goes to show you that EVs use energy more efficiently, whether you get it from clean or dirty energy. Us here in the Pacific Northwest, we get a lot of our energy from clean hydroelectric, so we have some of the lowest utility rates in the country, and ironically some of the highest gas prices. So here in the Pacific Northwest, you can benefit more than ever for an EV. And the fact that Ford partnered with Tesla to allow access to Ford customers in their EVs to the supercharging network is even better for road tripping. Well, thanks so much. We are Scarff Ford. We've been in business over 100 years, proudly serving the greater Seattle-Tacoma area, located in Auburn, Washington. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. We have content coming out all the time. Thanks for watching. We hope to see you soon.